Just growing. Today, I want to welcome our guests, are Lily Azell, welcome back, the
Thank you.
ambassador to Pickleball of South Dade, and Juliana Fury. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're the assistant director of business development for the Miami Marlins. So thank you so much for being here. Tell us about what is going on with this big event on July 9th. How did this all happen? This is so exciting.
Yeah, so Pickleball Day, July 9th, Sunday. Pickleball being the fastest growing sport, which you had mentioned, especially here in South Florida. You see a lot of teams across the nation putting in pickleball courts and doing Pickleball Day at the stadium. Some of them just give away paddles, some of them just have the courts outside, and why don't we just bring it together? So next Sunday, before the Marlins take on the Phillies, we will have an activation set up with 2 courts. Pickleball will be laying down 2 courts for us. We'll have a end of a round robin tournament with the semifinals and finals at the stadium. Followed by the winner will be able to play with the pros, Christian Alshon, Federico Strackstrand, I always butcher his name, and Dylan Frazier. And then followed by that, they'll do a little match, and then there'll be a king of the courts. So people will be able to come in and play, and we have a ton of support from the community, from different massage therapists to hydration stations to bigger brands that the PPA is aligned with as well. So we're really excited about it, and it's a community in itself here in Miami and in South Florida. So it's exciting to bring them all together and to come enjoy it before a game. And everyone who comes to the event and gets a ticket for the event for the baseball game will also get a Marlins branded paddle.
Awesome.
So it's a nice paddle.
It's a
good
really
quality.
nice paddle.
Both the logos, the old logo, and the new logo as well. So.
And we cannot have enough paddles if serious
No.
pickleball players or any pickleball players. So we need another paddle.
We definitely.
And with a home team like the Marlins, we're really excited.
This is great. So tell me a little bit, how did this come about? I know Lily, was this you reaching out to that? Like, how did this
I think
take
it was
place?
a combination, right? What happened was that the Tampa Bay Rays, Devil Rays, had a pickleball day, and the USA Pickleball Ambassador up in Tampa area, David Tabb, sort of said to me, "My team is cooler than yours." And I said, "No, he did not. He did not just say that. He just challenged me." So I started reaching out to the Marlins, and at the same time, I believe Juan Martinez was looking at what to do with pickleball. And long story short, kind of we all came together through all little challenges and mishaps, and USA Pickleball is now involved in reaching out to the community, and we've really reached out with all our players are involved, engaged. What I love about what the Marlins is doing with Pickleball Day is that this is community, and this is about community. And the most important thing is that we know pickleball is community, social sport. So having a pickleball day at the Marlins LoanDepot Park is super exciting because it's bringing all of us together. The Big Five Club is hosting the players. Sort of the semifinals are going to be decided on July 7th at the Big Five Club. So that is going to feed into the semifinals that will take place at LoanDepot Stadium, and that's going to start at 10 in the morning. So there will be activities from 10 a.m. At midday at noon. There will be the winners of that. The finalists will play the pros from the PPA, and that's the exciting thing. The other exciting thing, the PPA Carvana PPA Tour is going to be joining and is partnered with the Marlins and with the community to bring this forward. And so we're really excited about that. These pros are coming in, and so there will be that the community will be able to play with these pros, and exciting, there'll be an exhibition game. We also have our local pros that are going to be involved in helping out and doing some clinics and the king of the courts and things like that for prizes. So anybody coming out to the park that day can kind of take a look at what pickleball is about. Pickleball players can come out with their families and kind of participate in all these activities. And I understand it's going to be a big party, right? There's going to be DJ,
Party.
music, yeah, a bar.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah. And really exciting is that we were able to get Annalee Waters, the #1 player in the world, women's
It's gonna
singles,
do the first pitch.
women's doubles, mixed doubles. She's going to be throwing out the first pitch. Our
That's
16-year-old phenom from South
Right.
Florida will be throwing out that first pitch. So
That
that's
will
really
be,
exciting.
That will be amazing.
Really
That's
excited
going to
to
be.
have her.
So, I mean, because this really opens the door for a lot of other sporting places to really, for us to do this. I mean, you guys are really like in the trenches doing this, and now we can go to the Dolphins, we can go to the Miami Heat. I mean, this is just incredible.
Well, yeah.
Definitely.
And I think also, you know, April is pickleball month. So I think if this is something that really the community gets around and is fun, I think it's something we can do yearly and sort of bring the community together.
For sure. And we actually, La Cocina, they're a pickleball company based in Venezuela. They're looking to really expand on pickleball in LATAM. They're actually going to be purchasing us courts that we can keep and to have this event again and other events
Oh,
too at the
wow.
stadium. So we're really excited about that. I think it's a big opportunity for us to have as just a benefit, but also to have to do other pickleball days in the community, not only at the stadium, but maybe in the off season too. There's definitely opportunity there.
That's amazing.
Very exciting.
So let me ask you this. So if you haven't purchased your tickets yet and you want to go and you're a pickleball player and you want to play, can anyone go now and play
Yep.
in,
So
in the round robin type of thing, or how does that work?
So the round robin, you have to purchase a ticket for the event. You go to marlins.com/pickleball and you can purchase your tickets there starting at $50. And again, it comes with this really nice paddle. But you get to play in the round robin on Friday night, and then you come on Sunday as well to the game. You get to mingle with the community more, mingle with some of the pros, enjoy a really good time, and enjoy a baseball game.
That's awesome.
We do have, you know, the Big Five Club has a limited number of courts. So we're hoping that anyone that's interested has bought their tickets already and has signed up or is signing up for that. There's only a limited number of spots that we can play because I think this could blow up. We just don't have enough courts. And that's part of the challenge, truly, in Miami-Dade County. And that's part of my advocacy is we need more courts, because if the Marlins are doing a pickleball day, you got to believe that this is a huge movement in the country. We just need our parks and our elected officials to catch up, and hoping that, you know, with the some of the efforts that are being done by our Commissioner Cohen-Higgins with the feasibility study for a pickleball facility, that this will definitely help show and highlight the importance of getting facilities in our community.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal behind all of this, and the fact that the Miami Marlins are getting behind all of this and we're doing this is huge. This is huge for Miami.
Absolutely. And you see teams too in Florida and Jacksonville yesterday. The Jaguars just announced they're doing a pickleball day. The Colorado Rockies are
just
doing a
mentioned
pickleball
that.
day.
Yeah.
The Seattle
Yeah.
Mariners are doing a pickleball day.
Football.
So you really see it. Yeah, you see it in football too, everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. And there's an unbelievable movement that is going on right now. Steve Kuhn, who is the founder of Major League Pickleball, just funded $1 million worth of lobbying in DC to bring this sport closer to our schools, to our kids, because he sees the importance of what this is for community. And he's taxing this lobbying firm to form a caucus and also to bring $1 billion worth of funding and grants to communities. So that's my next, I think,
Your next
front,
advocacy.
is I want to make sure we we get what we need for our children and our community here in Miami-Dade County, because just like the Marlins do great outreach, unbelievable outreach for baseball and kids, and you do it all over the community, because I hear, oh, the Marlins are coming out to Hialeah and what have you, doing this, and they're doing this, but we need this in our schools for this is the one sport that a grandma, a mom, and a daughter can all play in the same court. It's intergenerational, and I think that it's really important to make sure that we can get some of this in our public school systems and our schools at large here in the county.
And we're already, I mean, we're already starting to do that. We're starting to see that with some of the high schools competing against each other,
Correct.
even the high schools having pickleball in their PE program. But people just, this is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And people don't understand the effect that it has, because it's a sport that everyone can play. It's healthy. It energizes you. It's good for you on all fronts,
That's
young,
right.
old.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just great. I've never seen such a craze like this. It's
And
really
it connects
amazing.
you too. If you're not from a certain community, or if you move, you can just go play pickleball and you're meeting a whole other social group of friends. It's a great social sport that anyone can play, and if you want to meet new people, I'm not from Miami originally, but seeing and meeting so many people who have been involved in pickleball along the way, I kick myself of why didn't I get involved sooner with it, and play as well, because it's such a great social activity that really just connects anyone and everyone.
Healthy exercise, and that's absolutely wonderful. I'll tell you, I had such a blast when you all hosted our community at who did we play? The national, was it Washington?
Who's the Nationals?
The Nationals, right? So we had a group of pickleball players that went, and we had great seats, and what a blast. We had a blast that day. I'm not a baseball, I mean, I don't come from sports, but I gotta tell you, we're gonna be in for a lot of fun, because you're pairing pickleball and then going in to see a baseball game, and all that comes with it.
It's a full day.
All that comes with it, and all the exciting stuff that's going to happen just when you're on there. And just, I hear that the Marlins are winning.
We are. We are. Knock on wood. We look really good right now. I think we're 13 games above 500 right now, which best record we've had. Second place in the division, so it's really exciting. Miami sports are really hot right now, and it's really fun to be a part of it.
Yeah. So
It's true.
It's going to be a
Yeah.
lot of fun for many reasons on that day. And just to think about, I went to a World Series game, the Marlins, I forget the year. My stepdaughter worked for the Marlins as well for a few years, and I remember just going to that World Series game. How exciting was that? So I want to go to another one.
Yeah. I want a ring.
I want a ring.
I want a
Those
ring.
rings are out of control. Yeah, those rings are unbelievable. So someone in our family will be getting one of those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to just kind of segue a little bit, let's talk about what is going on in the community with other events that are taking place. We have not touched base on that in a while.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot exciting of things going on. One of the big things that have just come out is Games of Miami. That was just announced a couple of days ago, and that is an effort being put together by a group led by Steve Suarez. And Steve Suarez is the co-founder of Wadapalooza. I didn't know what Wadapalooza was, and it's workout of the day. So it's a CrossFit term, and Wadapalooza is a CrossFit event that is now the largest in the world, and he co-founded this. He's very much a productions, does all kinds of major productions, so he knows what he's doing. And Brainchild, this group who got hooked into pickleball, again, it's all because they're hooked into the social sport. They decided they're going to host the largest pickleball festival by the water, because we know there's many players and
Right.
that register for the Naples event, but this is going to be the largest pickleball festival by the water. It's going to be at the Miami Marine Stadium. 100 courts is obscene. And so I can't wait to see
I
what this
can't
all looks
imagine
like.
100 courts.
Yeah,
I mean,
imagine we were
It's-
thinking
how
4
many
courts.
How many courts at the Marlins Stadium?
So we're gonna have 2
Okay.
outside, but
N-
we would
not
love
to undermine the
not
100
to
courts.
undermine
I'm not
100.
here
I mean,
to
it's
do
a
that.
huge space,
Yeah.
but maybe we'll get there one day.
Yeah, that
Nope.
would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of fun. There's all kinds of things happening in the baseball world. So we know the ballpark series is happening in Fenway,
Fenway, yep.
and other areas. So that is really exciting. So I can't wait to see what it looks like, because there will be a court on a barge, and I'm not
Right,
really
right.
sure how they're going to pull it off, but this guy knows what he's doing.
Right.
So, and he's been overwhelmed. I was speaking to him on the phone on my way in. He's overwhelmed by the response. He didn't realize he's had 40 some odd vendors that have reached out to him. He didn't realize that the first responders were so into pickleball, and
Yes.
and you know, I told him they are all hooked, and it's on all the stations, on the firefighting stations, and so he says this has really surprised him. He did not expect this, and so we're going to be talking and seeing how we can do this. But the wonderful thing that I really liked about what Pickleball Games of Miami are standing for, he says, this is going to be a party, this is going to be Miami, it's going to be a festival, but it really is going to be about community. This is about wanting to bring our families together. So young and old, there's going to be something to do for everybody. If a family is bringing their kids, they can put them in a area of the park where there are going to be activities directly for them.
Right.
One of the things we talked about is making sure we have a youth, for the collegiate the players, having that. So I'm not really sure what it's all going to look like. I'm looking forward to seeing what the layout's going to be like. It
Right.
has caused buzz across the country right now, like anything in Miami does. So we're really excited about what the
Yeah.
Marlins has done too, has caused a lot of noise and interest across
And it just
the
brings
community.
more people to Miami. It helps tourism. It's a whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It's destination pickleball. There's 15, I think, cruise ships. I want to say Royal Caribbean has 15 have pickleball courts.
Yeah.
So people are
Yeah.
actually coming in, and we see this at our park levels. We see people that are coming in a couple days before a cruise, a couple days after. They come in to play in our public parks, and so again, they're meeting community, but it's destination pickleball. And so there is definitely a market for huge market. We have the infrastructure for it. Hoping that some of these people come to the Marlins game on Pickleball
sure.
Day.
Right. July 9th.
July 9th.
The Miami Marlins versus the Philly.
The
Okay.
Phillies, Philadelphia Phillies. Yeah. So good. So sorry to go back to your question originally about how this kind of all started and with me.
Yes.
I had gone to the Pickleball Grand Slam with my father and my fiance back in April. And following that, it was so easy to see how they put up the courts there at Hard Rock, and just thought to myself, this would be really cool to get this done there. One of my friends runs a pickleball team. He worked with me at the Yankees prior, Adam Banky, the DC pickleball team. And
Okay.
he was saying, you need to do it. You need to do it. You guys will bring so much awareness to it. So many people will come out, and he was so right. The awareness has been insane. So many people are coming out, and we're really excited. And that's someone in a different market, that not from this market at all, but they know the passion here in South Florida.
That's incredible.
pickleball.
That's where you. So what's your background? You came from.
So at the
New
Yankees
Jersey.
prior for 10 years.
Oh, you were at the Yankee. Okay.
And then I went to go open up the Islanders' new arena. And then when that completed, I came down here for the Marlins. So
Are you a baseball fanatic?
I am now. They pay the bills.
I was just gonna say.
But pickleball, it's so much fun, and putting this together, it hasn't felt like work. So
That's
that's
awesome.
when it's been so
That's what we
It's
love
great.
about it. It's my therapy. It's a
Yeah.
lot of people. It
Right.
does so much for everyone. So I think it's great that, that you're doing this and that the Miami Marlins is doing this. I think it's wonderful. And like I said before, it opens up the door for so much more in Miami and for other sporting events, for other sport teams like the Miami Dolphins, like the Miami Heat,
Right.
that this should really take place.
Yeah, and hopefully we can work with our park systems so that we can get these courts into our communities, into our neighborhoods. Because again, we in District 2, I was just on the phone with Commissioner Kovo, for example. We have this huge event happening, the Marlins, and which is wonderful, but we have very little courts and very dedicated courts in Miami or court time at all. So she's open. She's been super supportive of the team.
Right.
Sadly, she won't be able to be in town because she told me she has to be in Colombia.
Right.
But she won't be in town. But she's super supportive, and she knows the importance of speeding things up with the courts coming to our neighborhoods. I know she said that those two on Oak Avenue next to the firefighting station in Coconut Grove, those will be completed by the end of the summer. Finally at the end of July, I think she even said. Two at Margaret Pace Park are coming. There's going to be two in Kirk Monroe and Coconut Grove. There are some possibility in the master plan in Morningside, and that's just one district in the city of Miami.
And then what about like Tropical Park? We have 4 courts there, packed, always crowded, always waiting. There'll be 8 more courts there.
There will be 8 more courts there right now. I spoke to David Cardenas from Miami-Dade Parks, and the courts at Tamiami Park, the ones that are alongside 117th Avenue, those should be close to coming online. I just got word that FIU is opening their FIU Athletics or FIU has a pickleball club now. I think Elevate put that on their Instagram page, which is exciting because most likely they will be playing on those courts. The only thing is we don't have lights in that site, which is something that maybe at some point we'll address. But those were 6 courts coming on. What the parks was telling me is that there's a process, especially when they are not converting the courts from tennis courts or from basketball court, where they have to do it from scratch. There has to be a time period that they have to let it sit, and there's a process. So I think it's close to it. As soon as that's done, Tropical is the next in line, I understand. There's also a huge shortage of vendors to do these courts. Because everybody's building them. Everybody is building them in the back in their homes, in communities, HOAs. So everybody down here, because they can't get court time in our public parks, they're taking on and they're building them in their community, in their homes. And there's all kinds of parties going on around and barbecues around pickleball. So that's happening. The one thing also is that there are 8 courts coming or more in Hollover. So those have already been paid for, funded by ex-Commissioner Heyman. We just have to get these vendors, and that's another thing. Coral Gables, I mean, that's the other thing that we're dealing with. So, as you know, there's 34 municipalities in Miami-Dade County, and it's a process, and there's a real backlog on vendors right now trying to get these courts done.
So, and then my other concern was, kids being able to play, like rec play, and it should be for free. I know that we've talked about Connor and the situation there. Connor Pori, I don't know if Juliana knows. He's a high school kid, loves this sport. They're playing it in his school at Palmetto High. Plays every day, but now is being charged to play. And he,
Pinecrest.
These kids can't.
He's a kid.
He's a kid, and they can't exactly. So what I've heard through the grapevine is that the dedicated courts, they're going to charge, but the blended courts, maybe they won't charge.
Okay, is that in a city of Pinecrest, or is that in another?
In the city of Pinecrest,
okay,
they're charging for, like, the village of Pinecrest.
Okay,
Coral
so we're
Pine
talking
is
about
charging.
Okay, so it's sad because the blended courts, for example, they're on the basketball courts. those courts are used nonstop after school. That's where the kids go and pick up games.
Right.
Right. So
So
and they're not
those,
charging for those.
right, those they're not charging.
But they're
right.
not charging the basketball kids for those, which is wonderful. The problem is the same kids or other kids that are not interested in basketball, but that want to play pickleball, they have nowhere to go after school. And so by them basically closing out those Coral Pine Park because they have lights, that's the only place these kids can go. And as Connor has shared with us, he
Right.
would have to, him and his family, which is wonderful, is playing with his father and his brother, they would have to pay $500 a month to play in a public park, which is obscene, especially it's a
Crazy.
public park. Now, there's tons of private
Right.
entities that are filling this void. You've got a new one opening up the tennis, schoolyard tennis, that's right down the street.
Right.
That's there. You've got Salvation Army, you got Riviera, you got Miami-Dade County Kendall, College Kendall campus. You've got
But
all
even all of
these,
them,
but those
they're-
are private,
They're
which is
private.
perfect because they're offering a service. But in a public park system, a Connor and his friends from Palmetto High that go to school in Pinecrest should be able to access courts because there's nowhere else for them to play.
Right.
So
right.
that's the challenge. It's sad. I would love to speak to the mayor of Pinecrest and see what we can do. There has to be something for these kids because they're off their phones. I mean, that's a beautiful
It's-
thing. There, you
yeah.
got them off their phone. You got them out there exercising.
It's-
You know.
Exactly.
So yeah,
That's what you want.
that's what you want, right? It's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
So it's a process. And again, you know, I know that people say, well, this is like tennis. It is not like tennis. And I keep saying, this is not like tennis. This is more like pickup basketball games. You want a private court with your private, you know, with your own friends. There's plenty of places to go in South Florida to rent courts, which is wonderful. I support all private entities that are doing and providing a service. That's wonderful. But what about those kids that are coming out of high school? What about those families that are working that can't, you know? And this is the perfect sport for that kind
Right.
of family and that kind
and
of environment.
families are going.
And they're all
playing.
going. And
They're
you should
going
see
in.
Water Oaks. Water Oaks, there's 8
Mhm.
courts, no bathrooms. That park is full no
Right.
lights, and it's full. So we want more of that. You know, we want more of that in our community, and that's what we need to continue. And we're so appreciative for the Marlins doing this because
Absolutely.
that pickleball day means the world to a lot of people because it helps bring awareness, but it brings everybody together, that family together,
And
mother,
that's what
father.
we got to continue to do. Bring the awareness to
Yeah.
the community.
Very
I
exciting.
think too, like as you mentioned tourism earlier, Lori. Look at all the hotels here. All of them have tennis courts, but what about pickleball courts? As more people are coming here to Miami, I think you'll see more hotels too investing in pickleball courts as well. And a lot of those people that come into town, they're going to the parks too. So you get some of the hotels to get pickleball courts. I think that is great, and it's only gonna drive more awareness to it.
Exactly. Now I really want to just feel this paddle.
Word
This,
ahead.
I am so
Right.
excited about this. I'm going to have one of these, and it's great quality. Wow.
I love it.
Well, the wonderful thing is that with your $50 ticket, you get a paddle and you get entrance to a game. So
Get
that's
a
a
$65 paddle and a ticket to a game.
to a ticket to a game. So what a deal! But it's beautiful, and I
It's-
can't wait to
it's
play with
great,
it.
And there'll be a Marlins branded pickleball as well. So we're really excited.
That's
And
exciting.
we look forward to many, many more of these. So this will be the first one this year, and we look forward to continuing it.
yeah,
Just building
this-
off momentum.
Yeah, and Annalee Waters is
I'm
gonna be a
so
blast
excited.
too. We're gonna have so much fun with truly so many people that are in the pickleball
Let
space.
me
and
see the paddle
Yeah, I know,
before
there you
we.
go.
It's really nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a really nice paddle. So we're
Oh.
excited.
So before we close out on the show, anything you want to share, you know, to let people know where they can go to, you know, get their tickets last minute.
Yeah, if you can come out, marlins.com/pickleball. Event, again, will start at 10 a.m. It'll conclude around 1:30 p.m. And then go in and watch Annalee throw out the first pitch. But it'll be a great event, and we look forward to seeing you out there.
Yeah,
Fun
and let me
day.
add,
I'm
the link is
excited.
also in my Instagram page. Well, it's the Instagram page for Miami Pickleball.
Okay.
So the link is on there as well, so you can just go on there and link in bio. And
And I'll just add, some of the people in the Salvation Army didn't know that it's on the chat though.
yeah,
Right? Okay.
because Salvation Army did get a link where
Perfect.
the Marlins have so nicely provided a portion of the proceeds going, and there's a lot of groups that you've done that for.
And that $4 and $5 will go back to the foundation for every ticket purchased.
Great.
So,
Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.